Mike, welcome.
Hey, Jess, how's it going?
Good. So this is Stress to Success, Leadership Stories and Wellness Tips from Top CEOs. And today's guest is Mike McGlade from GreenShield. So I'm going to share a little title card that can go check out the site after they hear his and learn more about his organization. So my second elevator pitch for your new venture.
Sure. Well, so here's the thing. Many employees are struggling with their finances. You can't really turn on the television these days without hearing about the student loan crisis that we all face. And so folks are graduating with $30,000 in student loans, and 30 to 50% of the employees at any given company have a revolving credit card balance of around $10,000. So it's a big problem. Debt is a big problem that's out there. And so what GreenShield is doing is we're helping employees optimize their debt, increase their non-retirement savings, reducing their borrowing costs. We're using technology to innovate around employer-sponsored credit unions and the business model that has been so successful for so long.
Wow. So you're saying that GreenShield can help me reduce my debt, increase the amount of money that I save, and get a better rate on loans.
That's correct.
So Mike, I know that you've been in a lot of ventures even before GreenShield. Tell me a little bit about a stressful time, how that led.
Wow. So it's not really possible to run a couple of entrepreneurial ventures without having a lot of stressful situations come up. So there's obviously been a lot of them, but as I really think about it, probably one of the more stressful moments in my career was the first time that I scaled a sales and marketing team for a venture-backed business. At the time, I was working for a company based out of Los Angeles. I joined as the employee number 9, and over the course of the next several months, I eventually moved from just an individual contributor into a leadership role. Within 3 months, I had 10 people working for me, and within 6 months, I had over 30 people reporting to me. Expectations, as I'm sure you can imagine, were incredibly high, and I had to recruit both the junior level team that was on the ground executing on the business, as well as a senior team that could help offload some of the constraints that I had on my time. So obviously it was a lot of work. I remember at one point in time I was working over 100 hours a week, and I'd go in on a Wednesday at say 8 o'clock in the morning. I'd work straight through the night. I'd be looking at resumes. I'd be helping with some of the operational tasks. So I'd go in at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday, and I'd leave the following day at 3 o'clock on a Thursday, having worked 3 o'clock in the afternoon after having worked straight through. So obviously it was a lot of work, and I recall I was doing 5 different jobs at once, and I know that because I hired 5 different directors to do some of the things that I was doing on any given weekly basis. So it was a lot of work, and then so over time it was incredibly stressful, but it was also incredibly exhilarating. You know, I was learning, and I knew I was making a difference, and I think it's incredibly important to make sure that you're doing something you really believe in, because no matter what, you're going to have the up days and down days, regardless of whether you're an employee, you're a founder of a business, or you're an individual contributor, or you're a leader in the business. It's incredibly important to be doing something that you believe in. And so while it was stressful, it was also incredibly exhilarating. I was learning a lot. I knew it was making a difference. I believed in the mission that we were going after. And at that stage of my career was exactly the experience that I needed to catapult me on to future successes.
I love that tip about being passionate and believing in the mission to help you get through those intense times.
It's incredibly
important. I'd also love to hear a little bit more about how you keep a healthy business and a healthy life.
So for me, it's incredibly important to set aside 1 hour per day to do something that's just for me. For some people, that's sleeping or going to bed early. For others, that's reading or some other type of escape. For me, that's going to the gym. It always has been, regardless of times when you're in school or you're building a business or you're just an individual contributor. To me, that's been my escape, and I think it's so incredibly important to have something that's your outlet to keep you sane. And just so happens going to the gym has also got additional health benefits as well, so there's a win-win.
It sounds like believing in your mission, keeping the passion alive, finding a personal outlet, and taking at least an hour a day for personal renewal. Those are your top tips. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with those watching?
Yeah, I'd say one of the things that I learned from my experience building out that team is that it's incredibly important to surround yourself with talented people. You have to give them enough time to grow, and make their own mistakes, but you also have to stay on top of them and guide them through the process. No one's going to know your business better than you, and so make sure you take the time to help them succeed. And even if that's just setting aside some time per day to just have a conversation with them, get to know them a little bit better, maybe go shoot hoops for a few minutes. It doesn't always have to be work related, but building those personal bonds with incredibly talented people is incredibly important. It's something that I didn't do enough of when I was earlier in my career, and I've learned that even though you don't feel like you're necessarily making progress against your to-do list in that time, it's incredibly important, and it'll get you a lot further in the long run.
As an investment. Now, Mike, as we wrap up, how can people connect with you?
I'm on LinkedIn. I'll connect with anybody who wants to reach out. So just look me up, Mike McGlade, and happy to connect and see where I can be helpful.
Great. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to show our title card again so that people can check out the GreenShield website and connect with Mike on LinkedIn. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Jess.